What happened to an eye for an eye? What happened to an eye for an eye? Now, when we said that was going to be a topic, I said it would be interesting because I think we might view this a little differently. In the civilized society, in our society, I'll say, I don't think we want an eye for an eye. I don't think we want that, because I think that when you start talking about an eye for an eye, you're talking about vigilantism, if I'm saying that the right way. I don't think we want, right, because if you're gonna have a society that's based on an eye for an eye, then there's no reason for law and order, because I make the laws. I might kill somebody for, you come and steal some food from my table and I come and kill you. So I don't know if I'm not for an eye for an eye.
That's not what I'm saying.
Okay,
I'm not talking about killing somebody for stealing.
Okay,
that's not
so
what I'm saying.
What do you
mean? What I'm saying is, you remember the Black Panthers?
Mm-hmm.
We need to protect our own. We need to protect our neighborhoods. We need to police our own neighborhoods. We need to build up our neighborhoods. That's all I'm saying. When I say eye for eye, don't let nobody come into our neighborhood with that bullshit. That's what I'm saying. Don't you know what I mean?
Or if they do, then what?
If they do,
yeah,
then they get what they get.
But what does that mean? Well, then you saying what I'm saying.
They get what they get.
Meaning that if somebody comes in your neighborhood and commits a murder,
not just coming in there, but if they come in there with that foolishness,
right? That's what I'm talking about, Knight. So someone comes into the neighborhood and commits a murder, the community murders them.
Pretty much.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think
that's what I'm saying.
And that's my point, Knight.
I'm not advocating violence, but what I am advocating is self-defense. I think that every black man should own a gun. I think that every man should be trained how to use a gun.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think that would lessen. I think if everybody was armed, that would lessen.
See, but Terry, the only thing that you still have to now. Patricia Trigger said, "Wow, I wish she would come on and let us know why she responded that way." But again, I think saying an eye for eye, then there's no reason for institutions. Then there's no need for the judicial system. There's no need for police. Now, I am for protecting your own, but I think at some point though, Knight, I think that would send us down the path of the Wild West. Meaning, someone no, hear me out. Mm-hmm. Someone let's say this person, has a mental issue. They come into the neighborhood, they cause them, murder someone, and then the neighborhood rises up and exact justice on that person. I don't think
mental issues. That's different.
See, but how do you know that, Terry?
I'm not saying every
taking all that stuff off the
situation is
table.
the same.
But Terry, when you talk about somebody coming into your neighborhood with foolishness, you're taking the trial off the table, because that's the purpose of a trial. The trial says this person came in here and murdered someone. Why did they do it? Was it what should be the price that should be exacted on that person for that crime? If you're just saying the person comes in and kills someone, the neighborhood can just kill that person, then you're taking the judging of that person off the table, right?
No, they will be judged by their neighborhood. They would be judged by their community. I'm taking the policing. I'm taking the policing out of so for one thing, the prison industrial complex was specifically built for black bodies. That's first of all. So when you talk about the judicial system, you're not talking about a fair. If the system was fair, that's one thing.
Right.
If they harass white folks like they harass black folks, that's one thing.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
If they were locking up other people at the same rate they lock us up, that's one thing. But we have to come to the point where we can police ourselves.
Now again, I believe that I know that we have to play a stronger role in what happens in our communities, whether it's policing, as you talked about before, community involvement. Bottom line,
Right.
we have
Right.
to do a better job. But again, I still don't see. I'm not for an eye for an eye. I'm not for someone coming into the neighborhood. To use your example, someone comes into the neighborhood speeding recklessly, runs someone over. We pull that individual out of the car and kill him. Because, and I think that, and I'm gonna finish this statement. I'm gonna read what somebody else said. I also believe that once you go down that path, Terry, then you create an environment when there's all these different neighborhoods exacting justice on each other. Well, you kill one of ours, now we got to kill one of yours.
No, I'm
And
not talking about us. I'm not talking about us.
but again, you're still talking about human
I'm
nature
saying
and
it
people
in the same.
exacting justice.
I'm saying it in the same vein. Like, all right, do you remember when the KKK had that march in Philly?
Yes,
Right.
last year sometime, right?
I'm talking about bullshit like that.
So what would you do? Okay, let me ask you this: in your world, Terry, this is a question.
Mm-hmm.
Well, first, let me read this thing here. The
All right.
problem is these young boys have that attitude about other black boys from 2 and 3 blocks over, and that's what I'm saying. That
Right.
would be the problem. That would be exacerbated. The people that don't view our bodies and our communities the way that we do, they would take that same attitude and they'd be killing each other pretty much like they're doing now.
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's
But
not what I'm.
let me ask the question then. Let me ask the question. In your world, the KKK comes in with a march and they're marching down the street with swastikas, marching through North Philly. What should happen to them?
Ain't gonna happen.
No.
You see
My
this
question
right?
is,
Wait. You see
what
this
should
right
happen
here?
to them?
You see this right here? We should have a whole squad of people with this on, marching down there and saying,
if
"You're
they
not coming
did
down here with that bullshit." That's what
Terry,
I'm saying. I'm talking about. I'm talking about making people responsible.
but listen,
Accountability.
but you didn't answer my question, Terry. Let's say they did, like they did in Philly. They marched from Walnut to Chestnut or whatever. If they took it upon themselves, the KKK, to walk down the middle of Broad Street and everybody with the black RealBrosLive logo on their shirts, what should happen to those marching KKK members walking through the neighborhood?
They got to go. They got to go.
So in other words, then
we stand our ground. They're not going. What, they going to march through you?
Yes, no, but Terry, but if they're peacefully, Terry, if they're peacefully marching through North Philly, and the black people are out there, the black people don't want them there.
I wish
what should happen?
I would drive in my. If I heard that they coming to down marching down York Street, I'm in my car. I'm coming down there.
To do what?
They not marching, man.
To do what? Terry, you're not answering my question. What are you going to do?
Coming down there. That's
to
what.
do
That's
what?
They not marching down. They not marching down my block.
You avoid my
question. I don't
question.
give a shit. Like
you avoid my question. Terry, you're not answering my question. My question is, let me finish my question. You get in your car, you're driving down there, you see them marching. What do?
First, I ain't coming by myself. That's first.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I'm not coming empty-handed. That's another thing.
So you come with what? What do you come with?
When I get down there, that's what happens. Whatever happens happens because they encroached on our neighborhood.
So in other words,
our community.
And I disagree with that. I think that's totally wrong.
Because
then the other side of that is, Terry, they could say there are places that we can't go. That's what they do now. You ever heard of the sundown laws? Listen to this. The sundown laws, where there was sunset laws, there was some laws in some, let's just say, areas that were predominantly white, where they were saying if you were caught after sundown, they would lynch you. Do you think that that's okay? Because that's what you're saying.
Why is it okay for them to do it to us?
I didn't say any of it was okay.
But you're saying they
and that was wrong.
Right.
So was it right? Was it right for them to do that?
Not right.
Well, so then how is it right for you to do that?
What?
How is it right for you to say that this group that I disagree with can't walk through my neighborhood because we're not gonna allow it, or if they do, me and 10 of my buddies are gonna not allow it? That's not right, and it's not right for them to do it. It's not right for them to do it either. That's my point. And that's what I'm saying. I mean, I think that when we talk about you know, eye for an eye, it opens up an entire different community or entire different social justice system that we don't want. We don't want that. That's what the point of laws are. The point of laws are to say someone breaks a law, someone goes into a neighborhood and sets a place on fire, then that person has to be judged, whether it's a jury of 12 or a judge. You know, that's why we have these institutions. We don't want the wild, wild west. You know,
Well, I'm telling you what, man. I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. That's all I'm saying.
What does that mean? Now, Pat, you need to come on. Pat said, "Phew." I don't know. Terry has an attitude that would never move the needle. All right, somebody. All right, what is your response to that, Nike? Somebody said Terry has an attitude that would never move the needle. How do you respond to that?
I'll respond to that by saying I'm more like Malcolm X than Martin Luther King. I'm not a turn the cheek person.
See, okay, but
you got what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna just let people come and do and say whatever the fuck they want, and then I'm not gonna match that same energy. That's all I'm saying.
Well, see, I understand that, and listen to this though. I'm not saying that you just sit back and allow anyone to do just any old thing to you either. I'm saying that there still has to be consequences. But what I question is the way that you exact that justice onto that person. Someone comes down to your neighborhood, commits a crime, you call the police or whatever. You make sure that that person faces justice. And I don't think that justice is saying that I have the right to judge that person and exact what I see to be the appropriate level of justice on that person. I think that there are laws that should be. Now, that is key, though, Nike. I do agree with that. The laws have to protect all people equally, but that's a different story. I mean, that's a different story. No, they don't. They don't. But I don't think the answer is, Terry, I don't think the answer is that everyone gets a gun and then everyone becomes their own judge, jury, and executioner. I don't think that's the answer. That's the wild, wild west.
That's not.
Well, it is because Terry, you said.
I said everybody should have a firearm in order to protect themselves.
But Terry,
so that means if you come in, like I said, I'm matching energy with energy. If you come to me correct, I'm gonna come to you correct. You come to me peacefully, I'm gonna come to you peacefully. But as soon as you cross that line, I'm gonna meet you at that line.
Yeah, I get that. Now, but then, what about the example that you gave, Nike? Because this takes it to a different realm totally. When you're talking about no one, the KKK not being allowed to peacefully march down your neighborhood, that is just I can't subscribe to that at all. I think that if you
let me
finish my statement, Terry. Let me finish my statement. I think that if you follow the laws and you file for a petition to peacefully march down anywhere, this is a free country. If you file the proper paperwork to peacefully march and demonstrate, you're supposed to have the right to do that. And I don't think that any organization that disagrees with that point of view should be able to stop you from doing that. I totally disagree with that.
So let's say they were marching down York Street, right? Or Diamond Street, or any street, whatever.
Right.
Somewhere in Philly. How do you think that's going to turn out, Stace?
Well, that's a different story.
How do you think that's going to? Yeah. I'm just being real. Like you, real brothers, right? Real brothers.
Right.
I'm being real. Like I'm not sugarcoating it. I'm not. I know this is the whole cancel culture bullshit and all that. I'm a grown ass man.
See, but Terry, well, how do you think it would turn out?
How it is?
How would it turn out then, Mike? You just asked me, how do I think that would turn out? How do you think it would turn out?
Brothers ain't having that, man.
So what would the brothers do? What would the brothers do?
I think there would be a crowd that meets them where they stand. That's what I think.
So the group. Now let me ask you then. So this group is marching down Diamond Street with their swastika signs. A bunch of brothers come out and not allow it. Is that right? should that happen, or should they be allowed to go as long? You said,
right.
listen,
just like Charlottesville,
no,
Charlottesville.
Terry, you said that you match force with force. If these
Right.
people didn't touch anyone, they're peacefully marching through a neighborhood. They didn't touch anyone. But now you're saying you're not matching them with force. You're creating a problem because you say
I'm not creating a problem. All I'm saying is, if they were marching down, let's say Diamond Street, right? And brothers gonna be coming out of the woodwork. So
right.
when they
But that doesn't make it right though, Knight.
They're gonna be like when they're marching, they're gonna be met with a crowd. Right. And the only way for them to keep marching is to make their way through that crowd.
So in other words, stay in your neighborhood.
Oh, wait. Are you stepping to the side?
Who, me?
Are you stepping to the side?
Is that a question for me?
Yeah, that's a question.
No, yeah,
Are you stepping to the side?
Yes, if they're peacefully marching, they have the right to march.
I'm not stepping to the side.
I'm
standing my ground, and you got to either go that way, go back where you came from, but you're not coming this way.
So in other words, Terry, you saying that people need to stay in their neighborhood. People need to stay. But that's what you're saying, Terry. Because if they have the right, Terry. Let me ask you, Terry. Do you have the right?
Do you know what that represents?
Terry, do you have the right? Do you have the right to venture into any neighborhood that you want to? Do you have the right?
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
okay, right. So don't they have that same right?
Because I'm not going to nobody else's neighborhood talking about black supremacy or people should be gone and
but do you have the right to say that?
People and all that shit.
But do you have the right to say that? If you wanted to go to a suburban neighborhood, why would I do that? Listen. Let me finish my question. If you wanted to go to a suburban neighborhood and talk about what you think is your truth, that black people are superior than any other race, do you have the right to do that?
I never say that though.
You didn't answer my question.
I've never has never crossed my lips.
I didn't say that. Do you have the right to say that?
You're implying that though.
No, I asked you a question.
You can't take a scenario that wouldn't happen because I'm not that type of person.
But
I'm not racist, and I'm not going to let anybody else be racist.
What I'm trying to get at is free speech, though, Terry. You're a proponent. You always talk about free speech. So a person has a right to say what they want to say, whether you agree with it or not.
I believe people got a right to say whatever they want,
wherever they want to say it. Also,
there's consequences and repercussions to saying whatever you want.
Yeah, I mean,
you want to let somebody's all right. So everybody get to say what they want. Somebody come up to you, Stace, just like. Remember you said you was at your job way back and the Chinese boy said something about nigger.
Right.
What did you do? You just let it, you got the right to say whatever he want, right?
He does, but I said something.
Right.
Yeah.
That's my point.
But I didn't swing on him. I didn't
say nothing about swinging on nobody.
But you said you would get in your car, you wouldn't go empty-handed, and you're gonna stand in their way, and you're gonna force them to go a different way. You're inciting violence. You're talking about violence. You said brothers not gonna allow that to happen.
I'm standing my ground.
And if they attempt to go around you,
if you let people walk over you, that's what they're gonna do, Stace.
Yeah, but this is where we disagree because I think that there are ways to handle that. I don't think.
I'm more of down the Black Panther vein of things. Like, I'm not just gonna let shit happen in my neighborhood, or like I live around white folks right here.
Mm-hmm.
They know not to come and fuck with me.
Mm-hmm.
They know not to come fuck with me.
Okay, all right,
you know what I'm saying?